Today we're diving into Night and Day, a really beautiful Korean short film that has a fascinating secret. On the surface, it's about a man who is literally allergic to sunlight. But what if that allergy isn't really about the sun at all? Let's unpack the story of courage hiding just beneath the surface. I want you to just imagine this for a second. What if the very act of being seen, of being truly visible to the world, could cause you actual physical pain? That is the powerful question right at the heart of this film. So the story introduces us to our main character, Young Tae, and his entire life is completely controlled by this rare and honestly debilitating condition. Young Tae has something called the DART virus. It's a condition that makes him severely allergic to sunlight. And we're not talking about a simple sunburn here. For him, any real exposure causes these intensely painful hives to break out all over his skin. So for him, every single sunrise brings a very real danger. As you can imagine, this condition has forced him into a totally nocturnal life. He works the night shift, his apartment is basically a fortress of blackout curtains, and his relationship with his really supportive boyfriend, Jun, is lived out entirely in the shadows. Their whole world pretty much only exists after the sun goes down. And this is where the story's main conflict really sparks to life. For his birthday, Jun asks for something that for most of us seems incredibly simple. He just wants a proper daytime date, a picnic by the river. But for young Tuck, this simple wish feels like an impossible, absolutely terrifying request. Okay, so here's where the film gets really interesting. The DART virus isn't just some physical illness. The story is using sunlight as this powerful, really elegant metaphor for something else entirely. And here we can really see the film's core idea laid out. For the couple, the night is their sanctuary. It's a private world where their love feels safe. But the day represents the complete opposite: exposure, judgment, and the harsh scrutiny of the public eye. This is the crucial reveal. The film is suggesting that Young Taek's allergy is actually a physical manifestation of his profound anxiety about being openly gay. His real fear isn't of UV rays, it's of the social spotlight and all the prejudice he's afraid he'll face if his relationship is brought out into the light of day. So, how does this metaphor actually play out? Well, out of love for his boyfriend, Young Taek makes a really brave decision. He agrees to step into the sun. He gets ready almost as if he's preparing for battle. He's got the hat, sunglasses, long sleeves, a big umbrella. Each item is like a layer of armor. But this isn't just about shielding him from the sun. It's about hiding him from the world, making him as invisible as possible. And for a little while, it actually works. They're having a peaceful picnic. But then his deepest fear is realized. His boss just happens to be nearby and spots them together. And in that one moment, the safety of their little private world is completely shattered. And right here, the film makes its metaphor absolutely undeniable. Young Taek's hives don't appear because a cloud moved or something. No, they flare up the very second he's seen by his boss. His physical pain is triggered by social anxiety, which shows us his deepest allergy is to judgment. Now, after such a painful experience, you might expect Young Taek to just retreat back into the darkness for good. But the film's climax isn't a retreat. It's a quiet, powerful, and totally internal victory. Back at his apartment, he runs into a neighbor. She's seen him with Ujin, and she just casually asks about him. It's such a simple, everyday question, but for Young Taek, it represents his entire struggle, all condensed into a single moment. And after a brief pause, you can just feel that final internal battle. He does something incredibly brave. He doesn't deflect. He doesn't make an excuse. He just calmly and simply says, "He's my boyfriend." It's not some big declaration to the world, but it's this quiet, profound act of self-acceptance. The film ends on this really beautiful, symbolic image. We see his shadow, and the smoke from his neighbor's cigarette just drifts and fades away. It's a perfect visual for his anxieties and insecurities finally dissipating. He's found a measure of inner peace. So what is it that makes this short film so powerful? Why does its story stick with you long after you've watched it? Well, I think the film's strength really lies in its elegant metaphor, and that metaphor is supported by a truly wholesome and supportive romance. Together, these things create such a meaningful journey of self-acceptance, and it leaves you with a message that feels both optimistic and really empowering. And that brings me to a final thought for you. The film uses this very specific metaphor, but the feeling behind it is universal, right? It leaves us asking ourselves, what sunlight, what truth about ourselves are we afraid to step into? All for the fear of being seen or judged. So that's our breakdown of Night and Day. If this analysis gave you a new way to look at it, let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the film's powerful metaphor. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more explainers that unpack the stories all around us.